Hey everyone, my name is Coco, and in this video, we will set up OBS and help you start sharing your content with the world no matter what service you plan on doing it on. We're going to go through the download and installation process together. We're going to set up our streaming service and enter our stream key. We're going to make sure our encoder settings are the best based on our computer hardware and our internet connection. We're going to create basic scenes like starting soon, be right back, gaming, and ending. And we're going to add a webcam source. I've included chapters to this video with timestamps so you can directly jump to the information you need, or if you want to skip any steps, you already did. If you would rather use a Streamlabs desktop, Twitch Studio, or XSplit, you can find similar tutorials or tips and tricks in the playlist linked above or in the description below. Otherwise, let's get right into it so you can get to creating content. So let's start by downloading OBS if you haven't already. To do so, we're going to head over to the OBSProject website and download the version that's relevant to your type of system. In my case, I'm using a Windows computer, and so I'll be downloading the Windows installer. To install OBS, we'll run the installation file we just downloaded. Click Next, review the license terms because that's really important, and click Next. Choose a destination folder for the installation. Most of the time, the default location is fine, but I like to keep all my programs and softwares in a separate hard drive that has more space. Click Next, and watch that green progress bar go. Once it's all done, you can click Finish, and OBS should launch automatically. When you launch OBS for the very first time, an auto configuration wizard will pop up to help you automatically set up the settings for streaming and/or recording. This step is meant to determine the best settings based on your computer specs and internet speed. If you would rather set all the settings yourself, you can click the cancel button, and if you ever want to run the tool again some other time, you always have access to it by going to the Tools menu option. Additionally, you can also change the settings after going through the wizard steps. In this tutorial, I'll go through both ways, so you can decide which route you'd rather take. Let's start with the auto configuration wizard. The first window allows you to decide if you plan on using OBS for streaming and recording, for recording only, or only for the use of the virtual camera. In my case, I want to stream, so I'll select the first option and click Next. Then it asks us what the base canvas resolution is. Since the monitor I'll be using for gaming is 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second, I'll leave the default settings of Use Current and prefer 60 FPS and click Next. Here we get to choose which streaming platform we plan on streaming to. Whether you're planning on streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or another platform, the steps are mostly the same, and you're able to connect your account to make it even simpler. Or you can manually enter your stream key. I'll give more information about the stream key later. So for now, I'm going to connect my Twitch account because that is where I'll be streaming. Once I'm logged in, two checkboxes show up. One says prefer hardware encoding, which means the encoder will use more of your GPU instead of your CPU to process your stream, whereas its counterpart, software encoding, would only use the CPU to encode your stream. Wanting to take advantage of my computer the most, I'll leave the option checked so my graphics card does all the heavy lifting. The second box will make a quick network test to determine the best bitrate for your system and internet connection. I'll leave that option checked as well and click Next. Leave it do its magic, and the program will end up showing what it determined the settings were the most ideal for your system. Click Apply Settings, and we're ready to move on to the next step. Before we dive in deeper into complicated stuff, let's go over the user interface quickly. The big black box in the middle is your preview window. That's where you see what the output of your stream or recording looks like. The Scenes dock has all your scenes you create, and the Sources dock are all the bits and pieces that you placed within a scene. The audio mixer is where you'll find all the audio devices that are currently being output, as well as how loud or how quiet they are. The closer in the red zone the audio gets, the louder it is. The Scenes Transition dock is where you can change what kind of transition effect is used when switching in between scenes. The Controls dock is where you can start and stop the stream and/or the recording, and you can access your OBS settings. If you connected your streaming service account to OBS in the previous step, you might have additional windows like the chat or stream information. You can move all the docks I previously mentioned around to set them up to your liking by clicking and then dragging the top of them. You can move and place any of them to either side or above the preview window. Placing a dock over an existing dock will overlap them and create tabs at the bottom so you can switch between each one. If you didn't use the auto configuration wizard because you wanted to set up your stream service manually, here's how you set it up. Let's first go into Settings and then the Stream tab. Then you can choose what service you plan on streaming to and connect your account to automatically get the information it needs. You can also set that stream key manually, and here's how to do it. For Twitch, you want to go in your creator dashboard, and then on the left-hand side, you want to go under Settings and then Stream. Your stream key will be the first thing that appears on that view. you want to copy that key, paste it in OBS, and hit apply. You can also select a specific server to which you want to stream to. Usually picking the closest server to you is the best, but you can download and use the Twitch Test Bandwidth tool to pinpoint the best server to use. If you do plan on using that tool, you want to look at the server that has the highest bandwidth and the smallest round trip time. A link to the tool can be found in the description of this video. For YouTube, you want to click on the camera button on the top right next to your profile picture, or the button that says create, and then you want to click on go live. A new page will load where you can select right now and that you plan on using a streaming software. From the new page, you can then copy your stream key, paste it in OBS, and hit apply. For Facebook, you want to go to the Create Live Video section, which you can access by going to facebook.com/live/create. Then select Go Live. You can then go into the Advanced Settings section to toggle the Persistent Stream Key option, so you won't have to redo this step every time you plan on going live. Copy your stream key, paste it in OBS, and click Apply. Remember that it's important that you keep this key private and not to share it with anyone, not even your pet, as they would be able to use it to broadcast to your channel. Next up, let's set up our encoder settings. These settings highly depend on the system and the internet connection, so it will vary. Let's go into the Output section of our settings window and change the output mode from simple to advanced. This adds a couple more options that will not only reflect what the different streaming services recommends in terms of settings, but also will be useful for more advanced things you can do with OBS down the line, like removing music from VODs and using different encoder settings for recording purposes. I have videos about those things planned or already posted in the OBS playlist on this channel, so make sure to check them out if you're interested and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out when more come out. If you want the encoder to use your GPU more than your CPU, then select the H.264 option that is available to you in the encoder section, whether it's NVIDIA NVENC for NVIDIA graphics card users or AMD HW for AMD graphics card users. If you only want your CPU to be used when encoding your stream, then select the X264 option. Honestly though, you most likely will always want to make your GPU do most of the heavy lifting. Next, you want to set your bitrate depending on what resolution and frame rate you plan on streaming with. As a reminder, here are the different bit rates recommended by the different streaming services. You can find these recommended settings and more on their respective sites, which I've included a link to in the description. Also, don't forget that you want your upload speed to be at least 1.5 times the bitrate you selected. I suggest anyone here to start with the lowest settings and bump them up bit by bit until you reach a point where you're satisfied when rewatching your streams, or right before whenever your computer or internet bandwidth can't keep up. Next, you want to set your keyframe interval to 2 seconds, make sure your CPU usage preset is set to very fast, and choose main as a profile. Then under the video section of the settings, you want to set your base canvas resolution to the resolution of the monitor you use for your game, and the output scaled resolution to the resolution you want to stream with. Finally, set your common FPS values to either 30 or 60 depending on the frame rate you plan on streaming with. From here on out, everything else gets easier. Let's make sure our audio sources are the right ones because sometimes it uses devices like the webcam microphone, which never sounds to the best. So under the audio section of the settings window, make sure that the sample rate is set to 48 kHz and set your desktop audio and your microphone to the appropriate devices. If your headphones have a separate channel for chat applications like Discord, you can add that device as the desktop audio 2 source in this section. Click apply and you should be set in terms of all the settings. You can make quite complex scenes within OBS, but for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to create a few basic scenes that will get you started. You can add a new scene by clicking the plus button in the scenes dock and give it a name that fits. I'm going to add a starting soon, gaming, be right back, and an ending scene. You can click and drag the scene names to rearrange them to your liking. The sources is where the magic really happens. By clicking the plus button on the sources dock, you can add just about anything you can think of. Here's a quick rundown of what the most commonly used sources do. An audio input capture allows you to add an input device like a microphone. An audio output capture allows you to add an output device like your speakers or your headphones. Browser allows you to add a browser source like the ones used for alerts and overlays. A display capture allows you to show a desktop screen. A game capture allows you to show a game. An image source allows you to add an image. Image slideshow allows you to add multiple images in form of a slideshow. The media source allows you to add video. Scene allows you to add another scene with all of its sources. Text allows you to add some text. Video capture device allows you to add a webcam or a capture card. And window capture allows you to capture any window application. I won't be spending much time creating these scenes, but there's a number of different ways to put down your own creative twist into these. If you want to find out how to make more complex scenes like the ones we use on the BnRProject Twitch channel, let me know that in the comments below. To make this tutorial as short as possible, I'm just going to put a basic text in the middle of most of these scenes that says what's going on the screen. For the gaming scene, I find that using a game capture source works perfectly well, so I'll add one of those. If you play your games in full screen, the default capture any full screen application mode should work just fine. If you play your games in windowed mode, then you want to change that to capture specific window and select the game that you're playing. Unfortunately, using that method, you need to change the captured window every time you change games or add different game capture sources for every game you play, which is not really recommended. Once you have a game open and you tab in for a bit, the game should show up on the OBS preview. Almost every game usually gets picked up by the game capture source, but in the odd chance that you're having problems, you can use a window capture source to accomplish the same goal. Now that your scenes are all set up and have sources in them, you can switch between them in the scenes dock, which makes you pretty much ready to stream. For those that want to stream with a webcam, here's how to add one and make sure it's using the appropriate resolution. Let's start by adding a new source in the scene you wish to add a webcam to. By clicking the plus button, select Video Capture Device Source and name it something convenient, like webcam. From the device dropdown, make sure the webcam you want to use is selected. Scroll down a bit under resolution/FPS type and select the custom option. Under resolution, select the appropriate camera resolutions for your webcam, which is most probably either 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720, and set the FPS to the appropriate one of your webcam as well, which is either 30 or 60. I highly suggest muting and hiding the webcam source from the audio mixer dock to avoid any echo or not so great audio coming from the webcam. You can do so by clicking the speaker button and then selecting the hide option in the 3 dots of the source. If you have a lot of dead space in your frame like I do here, you can clean it up by holding the Alt key, clicking one of the sides and dragging it towards the center of the image. Then by clicking on one of the corners of the source boundaries, you can resize it and move it to wherever you want on the screen preview. And that just about does it. With these new skills and knowledge, you should be able to start using OBS for all your content creation needs. Click the like button if you learned something new in this video or found this tutorial helpful. Once again, check out the playlist linked above or in the description to take your OBS skills to the next level. It covers more in-depth tutorials and neat tips and tricks you can start using to make your content even better. If you have any questions or need further guidance, don't hesitate to reach out to us in the comments. You can also follow us on Twitch, where we currently stream every Sunday, Thursday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Subscribe for more tutorials like this, gaming videos, or vlogs from the BnRProject, and I'll catch you next time.